Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. Thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shade for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, money like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right. Shout out to the mighty Who Dat Nation. Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate y'all for being in alive. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and by all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. We in here repping the Who Dat Nation, man. It's nothing less to talk about on this one, fam. It just was a sorry exhibition game for the Saints. They didn't show up to play. This just wasn't a good matchup for the Saints in terms of what they were bringing. They had some spirited practices earlier in the week, but that shouldn't be any excuse for a football team that knows that the coach is attempting to challenge them with multiple practices and scrimmages during the week. So they just didn't, for whatever reason, show up to play in this matchup. Everything happened that you could possibly think that represented bad football for the New Orleans Saints side. To get blanked 34-0 by the Rams backups against the Saints backups wasn't good. Let's jump right to the stats. Big up to all you guys. This is live, man. We up in this thing, y'all. Appreciate y'all for being in live. It's just, what could you learn from this? If you're the Saints, a lot of people say you just burn it and go. No, don't burn this. You can't burn preseason evaluation film. You can't. You got to study it. It's not like the regular season where you can say, okay, let's burn it and just reset. No, you got to study who didn't do what they were supposed to do, who missed tackles, who couldn't cover, who couldn't catch, who ain't seeing the proper routes, who not going through their progressions, who afraid to pull the trigger on throws when they got guys wide open, guys who can't block, guys who can't run block or pass block or rush the passer, all of that. Guys who can't kick, guys who can't punt. You got to evaluate all of that, right? You got to evaluate this whole damn thing. So I don't know what to tell you guys on this one, except for this was a very poor football by the New Orleans Saints in this one. Very poor. As I'm hitting the stats right here, y'all, pardon me, I'm on the road, so I'm doing this mobily. Man, listen, first downs, the Saints, only 13 total first downs for the entire game. That's awful. The Rams, 28-13 on first downs. The Saints were 7 of 16 on third downs. The Rams are 7 of 13. The fourth down, Saints were 1 of 2. So were the Rams. The total plays, Rams had 73, Saints 62. Total yards, Rams had over 400 yards. The Saints had just under 300 yards in total offenses. Total drives were 9-9. The Rams averaged 5.5 yards per play. The Saints just under 5 yards. 188 total passing yards by the Saints, 254 by the Rams backups. The Saints had 2 interceptions thrown. They only gave up 1 sack, but both quarterbacks were incompetent in terms of what they did out there today. The rushing attack, can I say one of the bright positives for this game was the fact that the running attack actually eclipsed 100 yards. Now, remember that was one of the talking points, or the 20 things that we previewed early on Saturday morning. The Saturday morning stream, I gave you 20 things to look at for this potential game here. And as you could tell, the rushing attack did do a better job. Over 100 yards rushing on 26 carries, 4 yards per carry. The Rams 151 yards on 30 carries. They averaged 5 yards a rush. That's not good no matter how you slice it. The Saints were 0-2 in the red zone. The Rams were 3-5. And the Saints had 12 penalties for almost 100 yards. 12 penalties for 100 yards, 3 turnovers, a fumble, 2 interceptions. It's just, if you're the New Orleans Saints, the backups, do we need backups for our backups? Can I ask y'all that? Do we need backups for our backups? Do we need backups for the backups, ladies and gentlemen? We might need to get backups for the backups. Spencer Rattler was 14 of 23 for 141 yards. He had an interception that was returned for a touchdown, I want to say. Yeah, I just turned away after that when I seen that. 14 of 23 had a pick. I think it was a pick 6. Y'all correct me in the chat. Zach Wilson, 6 of 12 for 55 yards. He also threw an interception and he was sacked. Now, the protection wasn't all that for the quarterbacks, but did any of these quarterbacks separate themselves in your estimations? Who's the number 2 quarterback in your? Because the first week, Zach Wilson definitely outplayed Spencer Rattler. Rattler had a fumble last week and a pick this week, a pick 6 this week. I mean, what's going on here with that? Kendre Miller, 6 carries for 22 yards. He got in the game, and he ran okay. Spencer had 5 scrambles for 21 yards, moving around trying to do something. He was top for second place in terms of the top rushers. Ty Chandler had 6 carries for 21 yards. Zach Wilson scrambled 4 times for 19 yards. C.J. Donaldson had 3 carries for 15 yards. He ran a lot better this time, averaged 5 yards a run. Devin Neal, 2 for 7, and it's unfortunate about some of the injuries we watched in the game. The top receiver was C.J. Donaldson. He had 4 catches on 4 targets for 51 yards. Jalen Marino Cropper had 2 for 2 for 34. Matabo had 3 for 34, 3 for 3 for 34 yards. Bryce Lance had 2 for 2 for 16. Trayton Welsh had 2 of 5 for 11 yards. Ty Chandler 1 of 2. Kevin Austin Jr. 1 for 3. Ronnie Bell 1 for 3. Cody Hardy 1 for 1. Zaire Mitchell Payton 1 for 1, and Bub Means was 1 out of 4 for 5 yards. Brock Rothsteiner 1 for 1 for 5. Trey Palmer 0 for 1, and so was Kendre Miller. So like I said, unfortunate. Saints didn't create any turnovers. The Rams were able to run the ball effectively. They were able to pass the ball effectively. They put up over 250 yards on the Saints passing attack between Stetson Bennett and Ty Simpson. The running attack was able to rush pretty well. They got up 151 yards and 3 rushing touchdowns on the Saints running defense today. Jarquez Hunter, he had 12 carries for 68 yards and a touchdown, and Jordan Waters had 10 for 54 in the game, and Stetson Bennett scrambled twice to pick up 2 touchdowns on the team. We just couldn't stop them. It just wasn't a good look for the Saints today. Like I said, we talk about Ty Chandler having that fumble. That's not good. That didn't hurt. That he lost it. Yeah, C.J. Donaldson fumbled it. They were able to recover it. And then the top tacklers as you switch to the defense, Jackson Sermon, 11 total tackles for the day. Mike Reed, the defensive back, 8 total tackles. Lorenzo Styles Jr. has 6 total tackles in the game. Not one blasted sack today, which was the question. T.J. Hall, Isaiah Stallbird had 6 apiece tackle-wise. Elliott Davison, Jalen Ford, Fadil Diggs had 5 tackles. Martin Emerson, Terrell Burgess had 4, and Isaac Yidam, Mr. Toast, had 3 total tackles today. The kick return game uh, really wasn't all that. The punt return game, they had 1 for 22. Tanner Brown missed a chip shot. He was 0 for 1. Ryan Wright, we know Ryan Wright kicked 4 for 180 today. But in the end, what we seen was the Saints team that just didn't look like they were playing. Despite all of the practice, I thought practice make perfect. Practice make perfect, not for the Saints. Not for the Saints this time around. The backups, the 2s, 3s, and the 4s, and some 5s got in there and they forgot how to play football. Drop passes, missed tackles, whatever you had. 12 penalties for almost 100 yards. And Kellen Moore approached the presser at the end of it, said we didn't get our guys prepared to play. And he might be right, and he's, a good captain or a good head coach to take the flack for how the team plays, because that's usually how it goes. But nonetheless, man, it was a really terrible outing, and the players need to take responsibility for this horrible outing in this one. This was terrible, man. And, of course, to talk about some of the injuries that occurred, Devin Neal left the game in the first quarter. He had some type of lower body injury. Matavo suffered injury as well. He was hit hard, had an injury. Torricelli Simpkins exited the game with an injury. We've seen a lot of Sherman. Brian Taylor, the backup defensive lineman, he left the game. Bub Means, had left the game, went in a tent, but he was able to come back to the sideline and finish the game. So we had a few problems and issues that's going on with this team. It's unfortunate, but it simply is what it is. And like I said, people say Q burn the hell out the tape. I said, no, don't burn that tape. Don't burn that tape at all, because you got to study on that tape, guys, and get this stuff right. We need to find out which one of these guys on here is not doing what they're supposed to do, not handling up, not handling business. We got to figure out who these people are so that we can be able to self-correct and make moves. But a lot of this stuff we have to improve upon. It's just unfortunate. Shout out to Son of God. Much love to y'all. Appreciate y'all doing the kill. Doc 54 said this debacle can be laid directly at the feet of Kellen, flying cross country and having 2 joint practices in the same week. You have a game is insane. But no, the thing is, I see what he's trying to do, because I want to say it was a scheduling conflict that they were trying to do, and trying to get his team out of the heat, and it's hot up there. But getting his team out of the heat, trying to get the scrimmage, and having them spaced out. And listen, they was going to practice anyway, right? Whether they were being rough and physical with each other or up against another team, they had to get the practice in. And you got to test your team, because when you get down to some of these other games, they're going to be put in situations where they have to step it up. You got to see where your team at. You got to see, test the resolve of the team. It simply is what it is, you see. All right. Dan says this is bad. A look on Coach Moore. He is a coach. It's a preseason game. Yeah, he got to learn from it. But I see what he's doing. Like I said, he took the bows and arrows at the presser. I was seeing how he handled it. He was very somber about it. Wasn't happy about how his team looked. It looked bad. It looked stank. You ain't lying. It did. He took the bows and arrows. The backups don't look good. Remember, the what y'all want, the bad news or good news? I'll give you the bad news first. The bad news is those were just backups. The good news is they ain't your starters. These ain't your starters that got beat 34-0. These are your backups. So that's the good news for my people out there looking for something. The good news is this ain't your starters. That's the bad. That's what it is. So the bad news is it was the backups. But we have to evaluate some of these guys, man. We just got to see, and I'm gonna break the film down, man, for Patreon, for our Patreon and YouTube membership family. I'm gonna break the film down and look at it, look at the quarterbacks, look at the offensive line. But the injuries continue to mount. Your Saints are gonna have to see what happens here. We'll see as we get to like Sunday or Monday, when we get into Monday when they get some evaluation work done, we'll be able to figure out what's going on there and then go from there, fan. That's pretty much what it is. It's as far as us talking about it, it was a complete, like you said, it was a debacle. The Saints backups, second, third, fourth stringers, fifth stringers were not prepared to play. They had the jerseys looked nice, but whoever was in them wasn't doing nothing but missing tackles, looking crazy, unfocused, and that some of these backups might not need to be here. We might need to kind of look at things and kind of change, reverse direction on some of these guys. Like I said, I don't think it was wrong what he doing with the extra scrimmages. You got to get the practice in. I see what he was trying to do. I ain't mad at him for that. But he said it himself. He was trying to test the resolve of his team, and he found something else. Guess what? They ain't have no resolve, which means you got to figure out why these guys didn't do what they were supposed to do. What happened there was, did you not pick up on the instruction? And that'll all be determined in the film. So we don't need to burn the film for no reason at all. He said, you the coach. He said, you to coach it or allow it you. He's allowing a lot of bull. I don't understand, Dan. Explain that to me. What is he allowing? That's a lot of bull. Because I can get the preseason game, they were competitive. In the first one, this one, they just came out flat. They didn't execute well. It was just undisciplined stuff going on, and he got to get to the bottom of it. So I don't think it's a culture thing. I think he's setting the culture correctly, but like there are going to be some wrinkles. There's going to be some things that's going to happen, and it's not always going to be perfect. But that's what we study the game for. That's what you look at the film for, to determine on what you need to do to improve and go forward, right? Hemisphere says this is going to let everyone know where they at. Are you a Saints fan or are you the rah-rah? Look at me, Mr. Positive, wearing my black and gold glasses on. We're going to be a Super Bowl. All right, what's up, Bev? Shout out to Bev. Thank you, Hemisphere. And the thing is, fam, everybody's have a right to criticize the Saints or uplift the Saints, right? It's your team. You decide how you want to, it's your relationship with the Saints. You decide as the person how you want to handle that. I'm not going to tell you if you're a bandwagoner, get your ass off the bandwagon. I ain't going to do all that. Everybody have the right to decide on how they're going to treat the team because it's their team. It's that simply is what it is. So I ain't going to say I'm a greater supporter than anybody else. I'm the same as you guys. I'm looking, we got love for our team. We see some issues right here. I do know that there's going to be mistakes made on the road to getting it right. That's how we learn as humans. This is a bad look, but what I'm interested in is to find out how do they regroup? What do the Saints do? Because after this, fam, they have 1 week of preseason remaining before the season switches, and they have to go from 90 to 53 and get ready for the Detroit Lions in week 1. They got 1 week left. So you're seeing some people here, you're seeing some stuff. So like I said, this was a horrible game. No doubt about it. They had no energy, no intensity. The quarterbacks couldn't do a damn thing right. Guys dropping passes, guys missing tackles, guys getting blown off the defensive line. It just didn't look good. But now is the time when let's see how Kellen and the staff regroup and fix what happened. You got to give them a chance to fix them. You can't burn them all at the stake after they make a mistake. You see, that's got me rhyming now. You can't burn them at the stake because they made a mistake. You got to allow them an opportunity to fix what went wrong. You got to allow them an opportunity to adjust. This is a long season, and I ain't going to second guess the man. I know we got the right coach, but let's see how his adjustment abilities and skills are to fix this, and we're going to see. We're going to see. All right. Yeah, he said, guess I missed the old, yeah, okay, Dan. He said you missed the old way Peyton used to coach. I got you, brother. I got you. I hear you, my man. No problem. Hemisphere says this was a complete, show of a performance. We have not seen not one snap from the starters yet. But I warned y'all of that. I told the family members that's what Kellen Moore is doing. he's using the scrimmages as an opportunity to get in reps. And they're getting in a lot of reps doing it that way versus an organized game. You don't want to expose your starters to exhibition football for the entire game. So what they're doing is they're using touch-only scrimmages as a way to get reps in some installation in. Then on top of that, you know, the way it's done, where they can slip stuff in there, you can't rightly see everything because when you go to a scrimmage, it's not filmed like a actual preseason game where you can break down all 22 on it and say, look at this guy, look at that guy, look at that guy. You see what I'm saying? It's a very interesting and sneaky way of getting reps. Like I told you, it was 2 hours worth of scrimmage against what was that? They got in scrimmage with each other. Remember that time they were in scrimmage? They had all that scrimmage going on. Then they had the against the Jags, 2 hours of scrimmage against the Jags. They got in as much as they could against the Dallas Cowboys before the Saints start fighting and pushing with the guys. And I understand, you know, we got something with the Cowboys, but at the same time, you gotta be cool and you gotta get the work in, because fighting and stopping the practices ain't helping nobody. And then, of course, the Rams scrimmage, which they got some work in there. So it's a way to get the first team up to get their harmony and synergy together without exposing them to an actual game where they're allowed to be tackled. That's what Kellen Moore is doing. And I told you in the second game, he's going to do what he did the first. He's going to play the twos, the threes, and whatever. That's what he's doing. Will you see the starters in any preseason action? I doubt it. Because then again, perhaps maybe next week, because he has no scrimmages against any other team. So will he put them in there? I wouldn't say he probably would. You know, back in the, you know, this is wild. Even last year, maybe you had a few guys going there for a drive or two, and then, you know, and come out of the game. I can see what he's doing. He doesn't want to lose guys to injuries, but guess what? Guys are getting injured anyway. But it's just all about people blaming him, saying, okay, well, why did Kellen put Chris Olave or whomever, God forbid, I don't want to say Chris Olave, but any player in the game and they're getting banged up? And then he said, well, why did he have him in the preseason game at all? Then he got to deal with that. So you can't win for losing. So he's doing what he feels that is giving his team a best chance to get installation, to get some work in, to get some reps in, without allowing his players to be tackled. And they did get some good reps against the Jags. They got some against the Cowboys. They had a solid scrimmage against the Rams. And then, of course, when you bring the twos and threes for the preseason game, they were supposed to show up. These guys didn't show up. You know, they weren't prepared. The coaching staff didn't have prepared, and the damn players didn't show up. That's on the players and the coaching staff, fam. It's a 50-50 proposition. I coach you, you go out and play. You play with intensity. They didn't. So it is what it is. All right. Madden Goon, come on, bro. All right. Let's see. David says, yes, did Dennis Allen step in and say, keep doing what you're doing? No. Dennis Allen did not step in and say, keep doing what you're doing. Dennis Allen is not here anymore, and I thank the Lord for that. All right. All right. Big ups to you guys, man. Y'all got any? All right. Y'all got anything? Y'all please feel free. Any questions, throw it in the chat. Like I said, I'm not going to be here on here very long. I just wanted to talk at you guys about what I've seen during this game, which was not much at all. But I would not burn the film. I reiterate, I am not burning the film on this game simply because you need to figure out who was making the mistakes. Some of these guys might be needing to go, you know. We've seen a lot of stuff. We've seen him having Isaac Yiadom out there. Notice he was getting a lot of looks at Isaac Yiadom. Had him out there damn near the whole game, trying to get a good look at Yiadom. Yiadom, to me, like I said, even on a special teams level, he's not flashing. I just don't think. I think we could probably Emerson or Price, if you want to do that. I think those guys have a higher upside. Just don't see what Yiadom gives us that make us. He missed tackles. He gets burnt. I think it's bad money. I think it's bad money spent on Yiadom. I think he's beyond what we need from a guy. At least he's gonna come through a lot cheaper than what he had at 2.7. I just don't see the value there. And there were other players involved. It's a lot of people I could throw out there. Just it's just so many of them. I'm gonna have to do a thorough breakdown and come back at you guys. But I definitely will have that Patreon, that all 22 Saints and Rams, as much as you can stand for the Patreon coming up on Tuesday, man. Well, I usually I probably have it out there for Monday or whatever for the guys. But yes, very interesting, man. Very interesting matchup. All right, but yeah, this was not a good one, fam. But at the bottom line is we did the Saints. Like I said, and I'm gonna reiterate this as well. We have to see how Kellen Moore and the Saints adjust to what happened. We got to allow them opportunity to adjust from this bad affair, getting blanked 34-0. The Saints had an opportunity to kick a field goal and take the 0 off of there, and the guy missed it. So you go and pretty much what it is, live with this O. And that's what I'm saying. But this could turn into a good thing, to be honest with you, because it will force coaches to change certain styles and things that we're doing. Certain players that just wouldn't get in, they might be out the door. This could help. Like if you're gonna get blank in the preseason so that we can be able to discover what we need to do to get some of these guys out of here or change or adjust certain styles or whatever we're doing. You get what I'm saying? This is if you're gonna get blanked. And really, I'm not advocating for it, but if it happens in the preseason, it gives us tape to evaluate so we can be able to understand what went wrong and why these guys failed as bad as they did. Why did they come unprepared? Why was Spencer Rattler looking like that? Why is he staring people down? What's going on with Zach Wilson in this game? This, that, and the third, missed tackles, all this kind of old stuff. We have to get through that. So anyway, that's what I got for y'all, man. If y'all ain't got any questions, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show as well. Big Q representing the Who Dat Nation, man. Listen, the Saints go down 34-0, man. This is a preseason matchup. All the like I told you, the good news is it wasn't the ones. The bad news is the backups might need backups for our backups. So so we'll evaluate the tape. We'll come back and see how they adjust. And coming up next week, the final week of preseason matchup, preseason game is on a Friday next week. So it's a short week for the Who Dat Nation. It's a final evaluation week before the weekend comes, and then that Saturday and that Sunday, the Saints will start being about the business of chopping down 90 man to get 53 fam. We in the home run stretch. We're in the final leg of the race. So let's see how Kellen adjusts, man, to this, and we can keep this thing moving and grooving, baby. Because I still know my team gonna handle some business, man. We just gotta handle some business with some of these backups and get right. All right. So anyway, with that being said, man, listen, I'm gonna holler at y'all down the line, probably in about an hour or two, and go over some stuff with y'all. Break it down when I get started. When I get to a stable location. Right now, I'm in the vehicle talking at y'all, but I had to talk at y'all because what happened here. But listen, appreciate y'all, man. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. By all means, feel free to share the show, your social media feed. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hype the stream, and sub up. Listen, this was a bad loss, but listen, we all know that in life, we have to, sometimes we take a L, but it's how we adjust to the L. So let's not burn Kellen Moore at the stake because the Saints made some mistakes. Let's make sure we see how he adjusts on the next go around. All right, y'all let that marinate for a little bit, and listen, I'm gonna let y'all on the next one. Much love, peace, and Who Dat to you.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that?
Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with thewhodatdaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit thewhodatdaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.